Um, I, um, I adore Eric and I appreciate all that he does for this community, but he is, just the sweetest human being. And so it's always a pleasure to share space with him, as it is to share space with this community. The Medicine Buddha community is really special to me, and it has been a, a nurturing place and a home for me for over 5 years. And so, anyone who's new here, welcome. I didn't realize I was hoarse. I've been home alone all day. I haven't been talking. So forgive me for the coarseness of my voice. The but I also want to say, if anyone showed up last week expecting me and had to pivot, I appreciate your pivoting. And Reardon blessed us with a wonderful, sweet offering, and so thank you for accommodating that. I opted to make space for Reardon, who had not ever had an opportunity to lead Medicine Buddha before, to have that, because it's so sweet for me, and I don't want to hog all the spaces. So, but the universe is generous, and another place opened up for me this week. So, welcome to everyone. Um, there's an invitation. Everything here is an invitation, and everything here belongs to the community. So use it in a way that works for you and supports you. There's no expectation that you present in any particular way, which is one of the things I love about this community. I can bring my whole messy self and show up. And so I invite you to take that same license and show up. And if you need something that's not available, ask. I can't promise we're going to be able to respond, but sometimes you have not because you ask not. So I just want this space to belong to all of us. I am obviously not Lama Rod, and I don't own this space, but I take it as an honor to be able to facilitate the practice. And the first thing I invite you to do is settle into your body and be present here. Um, Sometimes you can support that by taking a deep breath and exhaling. Sometimes by shaking out your limbs and your head. Sometimes by wiggling in your seat and straightening your spine. Sometimes by just letting go and relaxing into whatever earth support you're in, your chair, your bed, the floor, your seat, whatever it is. But just settle in and let yourself be present and comfortable. If you need to get up and get water or some kind of beverage or anything else that supports you, a um, a shawl, a blanket, a sweater, a fan, whatever makes you comfortable in your body. When Eric asked me about music today, often I choose what I consider one heavy song and one a light song, but today I chose two songs that bring me joy. I've been home alone all day, and I gave myself permission not to have to do anything. Okay, actually for the whole week. And that's not completely accurate. I'm not like in a silent retreat for the week. And I do have some appointments I'll take care of. But I am someone who usually makes a list of things to do every morning and tries to tick off at least 5 items. And yeah, a little OCD, uh, just a little. and and so I'm not doing that. And at the just a couple of hours ago, I noticed that the moon has been void of course all day. And for those non-astrologers among you, that's a period where um, we intuitively are drawn to rest. And so I was pleased with myself that I had felt that energy and responded to it to let myself journal. And I've been not just journaling and in practice, but I pulled out some of my old journals. Again, a little OCD. I have journals going back probably 20, 25 years on my bookshelf, about 10 a year of 8.5 by 11 college ruled spiral bound notebooks. And so the Friday we have a partial lunar eclipse coming up, and I'm a practicing astrologer also, so I pay attention to what's going on in the heavens. Not because I think we are ruled by the stars, but I believe in synchronicity and as above, so below. And astrology for me is just a language of the prevailing energies in the universe, sort of like a spiritual weather report. And so the upcoming eclipse draws us into reviewing our lives back to 2007. So we've got that whole 18, 19-year period that we get to resolve anything that's partially resolved. There may be issues that you've noticed coming up in your life um, that you thought you had handled. And if they are, that just means that you're getting an opportunity to totally, clear that energy out of your being. And for me, it's been in the form of some of thinking about an ex-boyfriend I hadn't thought about in years. That the relationship was unhealthy from the start, but of course I didn't see that. And then, I had several, traumatic events and over the course of it. But I haven't talked to him for probably 2 years. I haven't seen him in a decade. I really thought that was all behind me, but it's been coming up. So going with my intuition, I journaled through the the nature of that relationship and why I stayed in it so long and kept going back to it and letting letting myself look at it with the maturity that I have now that I didn't do then, but without judgment. Where I was then was perfectly acceptable. It was a necessary part of my journey. And even though parts of it were painful, I don't have any regrets. And I learned a lot of lessons through that. And it wasn't all pain, of course. Um, I once told one of my friends that yes, he had issues, but he was so charming. And she said, of course he has to be. If he had all those issues and he wasn't charming, there would be no reason that anybody would be in relationship with him. And so that stayed with me 15, 20 years, that he had to be charming. and um and so so I had fun with him. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things about myself. But at age 68, I'm visiting this relationship from like 25 years ago that I thought, I had resolved. So if something's coming up for you, I just want to name that energy that is kind of prevailing in the cosmos and let go of any judgment about past actions that you made from a lower level of consciousness. Oprah used to say, when we know better, we do better. And I am not a big fan of Oprah, and I kind of judge myself for even quoting her. But but that was cosmic truth. You know, when we know better, we do better. And we are growing and learning. I was talking to Aisha, who some of you know, recently about something some epiphany I had had about myself. And I had a lot of shame about just coming to that awareness at age 68. I was like, I can't believe I'm 68 years old and I'm just realizing this about myself. And she said, let's reframe that. Thank God at 68 that you are, you're aware that, of this about yourself. You know, many people kind of grow up, they get grown, they stop growing. And I'm not one of them. And I am very grateful for that. I continue to learn things about myself and grow. And some of that's painful. And sometimes, I feel shame that I am just learning these lessons. But thank God I am learning these lessons now. Fine, yeah, because I could go through this whole incarnation and not learn it at all. So today I've been revisiting some old journals and old materials with a lot of joy and also with some compassion for things that I was struggling with that I'm no longer struggling with. And so I got to celebrate that. But also some unresolved issues that I realized I still have some of the issues I had, 15, 20 years ago. And maybe I will die with those issues, but I will not die without consciously attempting to heal those parts of myself. So I share that journey with you. And to quote Aisha again, eat the chicken and leave the bones. What works for you, what nurtures you, take that and keep it and make it your own. And what doesn't resonate with you, just leave it to the side. And you don't have to argue with it. You don't have to criticize it. Just don't carry it with you. So that has been, I have been having a joyful day, just being with that energy of allowing myself to rest, which is also hard for me. For those of you who are astrologically inclined, I have an Aries sun, an Aries moon, an Aries ascendant, and an Aries Mercury. So, so there is nothing subtle about me. But the good news is you never have to wonder if I'm, yeah, if I'm being, beguiling or deceptive, because I'm not. I don't have that ability in me. I may be too blunt and hurt your feelings, but I am never like sneaky or or shameful. And you don't have to wonder what I'm thinking, because if you ask me, I will tell you. At 68, I hope I have developed some skills in um, being somewhat compassionate and thoughtful in how I deliver that. As a young person, I did not have those skills. Those skills were not well developed, and I would just bluntly say something. At my youngest sister's 40th birthday party, I was at a table with my sister's friend's sister, who was in my class in high school, but who we weren't close friends or anything. And this guy was talking, and he said something that I knew wasn't a full story. So I asked him a question, and he just kind of went on talking and gave me a non-answer. And so I asked him again. And he said something else that was not the answer to my question. So I asked him a third time. And the person who had been in high school with me said, you might as well tell her, because she's never going to stop. And so I learned something about myself. I was like, So he's intentionally not answering me. It hadn't occurred to me that he just was trying not to tell me. And so I just kept asking. And I have become a little more skillful. I won't say a lot because I am still very blunt and very direct. And I often miss subtleties in relationships and conversations because it doesn't occur to me that people are trying to be a little, um, I, I don't want to say deceptive, but just a little circumspect, a little indirect. So that doesn't occur to me. So I respond. I'm very childlike in that way. I'm just I take things at face value. I am not sophisticated in that way. I'm just very um, direct and innocent still at 68. And I don't judge that about myself. It's how I am. And I invite you to accept yourself however you are and wherever you are in your path. That I have been perfectionistic in much of my life. I make goals and plans and I expect a lot of myself. And it doesn't have to be that hard. You know, um, learning to give myself grace has been one of the biggest joys of my life. And just learning to say, it's okay if I'm imperfect. That sounds like an obvious statement, but I haven't always lived that. I have had expectations of perfection in myself. And for any of you who have that, who I invite you to explore giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to be imperfect and enjoying the complex, beautiful creation that you are. Um, and I'm going to just take a second because it looks like some really interesting stuff in the chat. Yes, the gentleness toward yourself is so vital to growth. Judgment and criticism doesn't work. And we understand that with children. We know that being harsh with children doesn't help them to become better people or to grow and thrive. And yet we still use that on ourselves, a lot of us. And so I invite you to just consider ways that you can soften up in your relationship with yourself. And so I just took a deep breath. So I'm going to invite you all to do that with me. Deep breath in, let it out, and settle into this moment. And notice what's going on in your body. And we're just noticing, we're not judging, we're not even changing. Just notice. And then I'm going to ask you a question that you can answer with your body. What does ease feel like in your body? What does ease feel like in your body? What does joy feel like in your body? What does joy actually feel like in your body? And now to bring Lama Rod into the mix. What does it feel like to be fully resourced? Resourced to overflowing. What does that feel like in your body? And that's an invitation to remember, not to strive or struggle. If that's not where you are right now, let yourself be where you are. Again, grace and gentleness, grace and gentleness. But I find that it sometimes supports me in accessing states of being resourced to remember what that experience is like when I felt it in the past. And just to see, if I can be 10% more resourced right now, 5%, 2%. And if that's not accessible to you, you can always offer yourself grace. And we're going to move into some chanting. I'm going to invite Eric to post the first chant in the chat. And that's Om Minla Sangye Kino Soha. And with that chant, kind of comes a prayer. I pray that you know and look upon me now. Medicine Buddha, I pray that you know and look upon me now. So we're going to start with Om and say that chant 3 times. And continue to be aware of what's going on in your body as we start to chant. Om. Minla Sangye Kino Soha. Om. Minla Sangye Kino Soha. Om. Minla Sangye Kino Soha. And you may notice Medicine Buddha arising around you, in you, in your heart. And whether you notice or not, Medicine Buddha is present. My prayer before we even started tonight was that Medicine Buddha would give each of us what we needed tonight. And Medicine Buddha always answers not just my prayers, but your prayers also. And whether we feel Medicine Buddha or not, Medicine Buddha is present with us. And we get to allow ourselves to be open to receive. And Eric, you can go ahead and post the second chant. Now that we've invited Medicine Buddha to look upon us and know us, not because Medicine Buddha needs the reminder, but because we do. We need to connect with the fact that Medicine Buddha is present for us. And we will move into the second chant. I'm going to chant Om and then start the second chant, which is Teada Om Bekenze Bekenze Ma Bekenze Raza Sumagata Soha, which means like this. I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. And I want to share with you that we are not the only ones chanting to Medicine Buddha right now. I was in retreat at Southern Dharma with Lama Rod, and one of the retreat participants had visited parts of Southeast Asia where there were monastery after monastery of monks and nuns who chanted 24 hours a day. There was always someone chanting for the end of pain and suffering and the end of the root of pain and suffering in the world to Medicine Buddha. So we lend our prayers to that and join that great vibration of prayerful liberation and love through this chant. Om. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata be kanze ma be kanze raza sumagata soha. Teata om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata 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 soha. Eata om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. Teata 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 om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. Om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. Teata 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 om bekanze 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 razumagata soha. Teata om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. Teata om bekanze bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. Teata ombe kanze be kanze ma be kanze razumagat soha. Teata ombe kanze be kanze ma be kanze razumagat soha. Teata ombe kanze be kanze ma be kanze razumagat soha. Teata ombe kanze be kanze ma be kanze razumagat soha. Teata ombe kanze be kanze ma be kanze razumagat soha. Teata hom bekanze ma bekanze raza sumbagata soha. Teata bekanze ma bekanze raza sumbagata soha. Teata hom bekanze ma bekanze raza sumbagata soha. Teata hom bekanze ma bekanze raza sumbagata soha. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. Let us turn our attention to the prayer doc. Pray with me. Prayers for Kathy as she deals with blood clots and hospitalization. Prayers for B as she is homebound and challenged to find hope. Prayers for each of us that we find nurture, community, and support here. Prayers for David as he makes the journey through illness to find a way home. Prayers for Leo as they start high school next week. Prayers for mental well-being and for safety and care to be showered on all beings. Prayers for my heart that I might stay open and soft with the people around me. Prayers for finding housing. Prayers for me to continue to imagine and bring down the walls of surrounding my heart to receive love. Prayers for my sister, her wife, and their 3 children, navigating healing childhood trauma. Prayers for safe travels for my mama. Prayers for AL healing from migraines. Prayers for R, A, and Z for safe and wondrous travels. Prayers for JB to get free. Prayers for the wonderful, the magical, the extraordinary medicine Buddha. I thank you to all of the Buddhas for their help, their holding, their generosity, and their love. Prayers for my mom. May she experience comfort and all her wishes come true. Prayers that my test come back as healthy. Prayers for C to continue to abide the lessons of this time and for increasing clarity. Prayers to the infants, the toddlers, and their caregivers. Prayers for the infants, the toddlers, and their caregivers. Prayers for Bob McVie and his wife Glow as she works with healing and intestinal blockage. Prayers for my health and healing and for help navigating how I'm reacting to a current medication. Prayers to Kay to find the answers he seeks. Prayers for my brother for his health, healing, and care. Prayers for my depression, that it improve and that I soon get a job that fulfills me and aligns with the Dharma. Prayers for Ara to be resourced, excited, and held as she moves to college. Prayers for all my beloveds and they are going through all they are going through, and all the chaplains in hospitals and all people in intensive care units who don't know their future. Prayers for Andy to be deeply resourced in belonging and joy as the burning continues. Prayers that Elle has the support and courage required to make it through these intense, scary times in their life. Prayers for happy roommate vibes and commitment as the new roomies settle in. Prayers for the time for the little wiener dog's ACL injury, that he gets speedy and affordable surgery, and that payment works out effortlessly and joyfully. Prayers that my wrist, hand, shoulder, and arm heal quickly, and that I can forgive Jennifer for grabbing me too hard. Prayers for E and E. May they feel peace and joy throughout the rest of this summer and beyond. Prayers for Bill's recovery from septic-induced delusions, and that he and his wife have the support they need. Prayers that the subpoena happens and that Doggy's small claims court goes well, so we are reimbursed for the violence against the little wiener man. Prayers that my heat injury heals quickly and that I have clarity and kindness about ongoing injuries. May this karma exhaust. Prayers for all the children re-entering school or entering for the first time. Prayers for all the college students, those moving in on campus, and those starting classes who may live off campus and or even live at home or be online, that they find education to be a joyful, uplifting, and healing experience. Prayers for all of us, the unspoken prayers that we know in our hearts longing, our hearts needs, our heart's grief, and our heart's joys. Prayers for Lama Rod as he takes some much needed downtime, or, well, that he takes some much needed downtime, and that he find joy and nurture in whatever activities he's engaged in, not just this evening, but during this time, whole time away. And prayers for this community, that we continue to be a love, a support, a light in the multiverse, and a healing balm for each other. And we return to the mantra for just a couple of minutes. Teata om bekanze ma bekanze razasumagata soha. 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 Teata om bekanze ma bekanze Rasa Suma Gata Soha. Let us turn our attention to oh, our closing prayer. Is there anyone? This is one of the things that I often sometimes do when I lead is to offer the opportunity for someone to lead the prayer. Are there any volunteers? You can raise your hand. Okay, Lena, come off mute and go ahead.
You want me to say it 3 times or just once?
Just once. And then, Eric, did I see your hand? Eric will take number two.
Yay. Okay.
And if there's nobody else, I'll take number three.
Okay. Thank you. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, and a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all the sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of the varied beings that reach into the ends of space.
May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space.
May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. Thank you all. I am not, I'm going to be on for a couple of minutes because I intended to share a poem I found that I wrote back in 2012. It's very brief, but I want to share that. And then I'm going to open it up for anyone who wants to speak into the space because this is our community space. The poem is called Enough. Enough smells like air, tastes like sunshine, feels like peace and stillness, sounds like a starry sky, moves like skin gliding in water. Enough. And that's not the only poem. I often write on the theme of enough because my prayer, probably for my whole life in different ways, has been that I be enough, that I be good enough, that I be, that I do enough, that I be enough. And at 68, I finally realized that who I am is enough. And what I do is enough. I don't have to do it all. I don't have to do it perfectly. I don't have to be perfectly. And so, because I was struggling with this theme back in 2012, I found that in my journal and wanted to share. Is there anyone who wants to bring their vocal energy into the space? You can come off mute. we don't have to call on you. Okay, well, I'll turn it back over to Eric at this point. And thank you, Eric, for your support. That's always excellent.
I want to
Oh,
say something.
Clementine wants to say something.
I knew there was going to be someone.
I am. I wish I had written down what you had said before we started the practice because, like, I was saying it over and over in my head after you said it. It was just something about having come to the point of like who I am is good and fine. But there was something about hearing it from you very specifically that really impacted me. Like somehow it was like, oh yeah, maybe I can do that too. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And then you kind of repeated it at the end as well. And maybe it's because you're 68, which you said like 5 times. I'm like, you don't look 68. But just that, I don't know, you, like I can feel that it's been hard won and I can relate and I want the same for myself. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And Eric offers us the beautiful gift of these recordings are available on Lama Rod's YouTube channel. So in a few days, you can go back and
Yeah,
replay that if you like.
thank you.
Um,
Yes.
the I look, I look, sometimes when I say the wisest words, I have no recall of what I said. Not just here, but yeah, in conversations with friends, they'll say, you said something the other day, and I'm like, yep, it's gone now. So, but we have the recording. So
I'm going to speak up real fast. Miss Sharon, abolitionist, alchemist. I love that people refer to you that way. I'm speaking up uh, not only because the session. I think overall, um, the intro, the poetry, etc., are impactful. And I think that gets overlooked so much in the world where the goal is to, I don't know what the goal is half the time. It's, involvement, participation. A lot of it is just so busy. So I had to make myself sit here. Um, and, as feedback goes, and my little puppy is sitting here. I don't know if he feels the vibe, but after the chant, yeah, he's adorable for doing that with me, right? Um, But as soon as you ended the chant, I had a vibratory experience. Um, Maybe some of the other listeners did as well. It's necessary for what I've been going through. I didn't even have the presence of mind to put it in the Google Doc because so much of what I'm going through is needing to go through it until I discover it. It will tell me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going through it. And, just caveat the part about astrology, you know, pinged me. I said, okay. So that's why 12 things didn't get done. And I accepted that. And I can usually get pretty mad at myself. So I'll stop there. Thank you so much, all of you.
thank you, Robin. Lou.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you and specifically on this theme of gentleness. There was another time that you led this practice, and I don't remember exactly what you said, but you expressed something about your own process of like doubt and faith and just like, am I doing this right? And like, what am I doing? And forgive me, I'm probably not getting the words right, but you basically just express this like something that I struggle with. And I have just felt so much more gentle with myself since you shared that, because I just do feel your elder wisdom and your love in this space. And even though we've never talked, I see you in here all the time. And so it was just that moment of like, oh right, like if Miss Sharon struggles with this, like it's okay that I struggle with this too. And so I just wanted to thank you for that. Like you've helped with my gentleness toward myself. And then a couple of things that you said tonight too will stay with me. I've been similarly like struggling with like, oh, how did I not know this about myself until now? And and then what you said about, I may die with some of these issues. And I just said that today in therapy. I was like, I may just die with this like loneliness that I've just felt my whole life. Like I may just die with this, but I will not try to stop tending to it, right? And so I just wanted to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you everybody for being here.
Thank you also. So, Eric, what do you have for us?
Oh, Miss Sharon and everyone, but just thank you, just as if, yeah, I'll keep it short, but just thank you for bringing in this prophetic voice of enoughness and unconditional love, and just modeling in the way that only you can, just this journey and the path. And thank you for your embodiment of this practice and everything you bring to this community and everything you do for the liberation of beings just by existing. Thank you and everyone for your practice. It's been an honor. And I know I probably sound so obnoxious all the time, but I really, one of the blessings of this lineage as I have experienced it is this sort of insistence on remembering how profound it is that any of us are able to come together and do any of this whatsoever. And so I'm just feeling that tenderness in this moment, and the gratitude for all of the things that have come together, messy and pretty and everything in between, to bring us to this moment, and grateful for the journey ahead. All right, yeah, and please check out the links and documents, etc., etc. You know the vibe, and we look forward to seeing you again next week with Lama Rod, and Blessed Slay tomorrow. Free Radicals is coming up shortly at the beginning of September, etc., etc. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you some way around the way. Lots of stuff going on.
Thank you all for your practice, if I didn't say that. It's been very sweet.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Take care.